up the midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85.
Take a look at Chicago, you can smell it in the air. There's a hungry team called the Soldier Field going nuts, jumping out they chair. Teams rather be anywhere but here. We don't care if it's below zero. Let it talk before the snow, we still gon' break holes. If we win the point fit, we choosing to kick. Cause we got a defense that love to hit. Polarize the link with our smash mouth beats. Slicing up teams like Mike Singletary. Forever repping the seat, making Papa Bear proud. Giving Chicago something to shout about.
We the Bears, monsters of the
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Panda Grizzly Show. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Baron and Grant. How you guys feeling?
Amazing. We got it.
Amazing.
Okay. I mean, this is a crazy thing for the Bears to actually get the guy that they wanted to get. I don't know how this actually happened, but I'm okay with it. So, we're just going to roll with it and say, all right, whatever. So when you guys heard that Ben Johnson was ours, what was your first thoughts?
Go ahead, Baron.
We got our pick of the litter. We got our pick of the litter. It's the first time since we got our pick of the litter. Got our first pick in the litter.
Okay.
It was funny because I got a text message from one of my friends, and he was like, Ben Johnson, we got him. I said, well, I was hearing the last few weeks that Raiders were his top choice. So it was kind of like odd. I was like, wow, we actually got the guy, and the Bears were really trying to get this guy. So it was kind of like surprising. I thought we were going to get Mike McCarthy, but that's, we got the luck of the draw.
There's no way Mike McCarthy is going to be here. There's no way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm shocked, but like I say, let's get this ball rolling.
Okay. Well, I'm going to share with you guys real quick a video that we kind of saw that kind of describes Ben Johnson's last 48 hours. Here we go.
That team's run by a bunch of basketball guys who don't know the first thing about football. I'm going to stay in Detroit, wait for a better opportunity. Washington, what a disaster of a franchise.
And it's picked off, and Washington will be going to the AFC Championship for the first time in 33 years.
It's should have taken the job. I'm going to Chicago. Why? Today, Caleb Williams better than Jaden Daniels. I was like, fair enough.
That's all that matters, right? That's all we care about is that Caleb Williams is better than Jaden Daniels and making it happen out of spite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dave.
That's all I care about. That's honestly, I mean, do you guys care about anything else?
Nah.
Yes. You know what I care about? Make it to the Super Bowl. Make it to the Super Bowl.
Whoa. Pause. Super Bowl.
Maybe asking a little too much, but
yeah, you win.
Maybe let's win a playoff game.
Yeah. Let's get positive outlook. That's all I'm asking for. A positive outlook. Let's win more games than we lose. Can we do that?
Yes.
And then we talk about the other stuff.
Right. Baby steps, man. Baby steps. So,
I mean, now we have Ben Johnson. Who knows how much he's making?
$13 million a year.
$13 million a year. Do you know how long the contract is?
Is it 6 years?
I believe it's a 5-year contract. 5-year, $13 million contract.
That's
per year.
I heard he's making more than Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn. I think he's making more than Harbaugh. Like, he's making more than all those guys. I think Harbaugh's making $11 million. So, I mean, you gotta pay.
Give him all that money.
Yeah.
All that money. I'll see something.
Yeah. So, open checkbook.
Here's my question then. So how long do you give him before you want to see some results?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. You guys are crazy.
Oh.
What up, Tua? How you feeling?
What's up, Tua?
Tua.
Why you say
2 years?
2 years?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
I'll say 2 years.
No. He has 1 year to show me that he's a good coach. He has a second year, and we need to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and we have a tough schedule next year, and I don't care.
Gauntlet.
I don't care. We better win.
Mm-hmm.
So, to us that feeling cold, man.
Too cold. Too cold.
We're in Chicago. Today, we had a high of 2. It was a high of 2. Felt like 30 below all day.
Yeah. Brutal.
Oh man. So, what are your hopes that he's able to bring to the Bears?
Offensive creativity. That's one of the big things. We saw the offense last year. Halftime, it looks pretty plain, and it's easy to predict. Let's hope he has his trick plays and all that type of stuff to add offense and make it easier for Caleb to actually throw the ball.
I would say leadership qualities. The Bears in the past few years have been lacking leadership. A leader of men, as they say. Can he bring a culture that shows that he can hold players accountable, and he can be able to at the end of the game. Can he be able to not blow the game in the last 2 minutes? Can you run a good 2-minute system on both sides of the ball? That's the head coach.
All right. Neither one of you guys said anything about being able to actually hold everyone, not just hold them accountable, but to show a team and be a team guy. Can he be a team guy? That's my biggest question. We know that Dan Campbell did a lot of stuff, for this team, and he learned a lot of things from Dan Campbell. And he was a math major in college.
Right?
Is he going to use analytics to figure out the stuff? Is he going to be able to call the timeouts when it's supposed to be done? Is he going to be able to do all the things that are necessary for us to get a good win? Is he going to hold everyone accountable? Is he going to hold Caleb accountable?
Yeah.
Those are some real deep questions, man. I don't know.
I want to go a couple things. Oh, you said we got some snow down here in Bama. We're not used to this shit. Yeah.
You will close schools if it just starts snowing.
Yeah.
You will close schools.
I did see some of the Washington Lions game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got very
concerned.
You can easily say I was very concerned with the IQ level in the second half, especially on that reverse with Jamison Williams when he threw the interception. You're down 10 in the fourth, and you decide to pull that cat out your bag and run a trick play that late in the game. So as far as that goes, I'm very concerned as far as that's what concerns me with the overall can Ben Johnson not get too cute like a Matt Nagy did when he was here in 2018, getting too cute, running too many trick plays and things like that. So, I mean, I like the hire. It's not so much of a big deal as far as like that play, but that will concern me as an offensive minded coach who gets too cute in late game situations when the team is down like they were. But I'm looking forward to see what he does with Caleb, but that's my opinion on that.
My personal opinion is I think Jared Goff lost them the game in the first half, and then they tried throwing at that point they're throwing stuff against the wall to try to get a big play to actually score quickly at that point.
Yes.
Okay. I'm concerned with a lot of his trick plays. I think this year the Lions were trying to make sure that they didn't just beat teams, they wanted to embarrass teams.
Yeah.
Right. And my concern with that is that you're not taking it at face value of how good it could be, and you're going to be continuously trying to embarrass people instead of taking what's given to you. And I worry about that overall.
Yeah. One more worry too I have is that the Washington had one of the worst run defenses in the league. And they went away. I know they got down very quickly, but they went away. They would away from the run, and they have two bona fide running backs with Gibbs and Montgomery, and they went away from that. So that concerns me that if stuff doesn't go right, are you going to go away from that, or are you going to, especially in this city, in this weather, are you going to stick to the run game if you're, knowing the matchups and, like I said, analytics guy. So that's my overall concern with Ben Johnson right now.
Are you worried about him not having any coaching experience?
Yes. Every guy that we've gotten ever since Lovey left, every coach after that had minimal like head coach experience, except John Fox. That was it.
John Fox had a lot of experience. He won 2 Super Bowls.
He was just old though. That's the thing with him. He was just old and out of touch a little bit. But like I said, but listen though. But he was the reason I'm not too mad at the John Fox thing. He wanted Deshaun Watson. Pace went on his own and got Trubisky. So like I said, I think for that, like every coach that we've had besides John Fox after Lovey has had no experience. And we saw how that's, hurt us in the past.
Okay. So who do you think is he going to bring on for his staff?
We already know who his DC is going to be. Probably Dennis Allen.
Yeah, sure. Are we going to be able to get Dennis Allen?
I heard it was a pretty much a done deal, and I heard that he's bringing his offensive line coach as the offensive coordinator from Detroit.
He wants to bring the offensive line coach. Yeah, he's working on assembling the staff. We have Dennis Allen, a leading candidate, but he's also a leading candidate in San Francisco. He's also a leading candidate in Detroit.
I see.
Because if Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets, Dennis Allen's going to be a perfect person to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure about that. He also wants to bring Darren Rizzi to be the special teams coach, but there's a lot of teams trying to get because he was also the Saints interim head coach.
Right.
So a lot of teams want Darren Rizzi too. That's what they're trying to do. I know the Jacksonville Jaguars are after him. The Raiders are after him. The Patriots are still looking for these people. But I mean, once again, you got to replace them in Detroit. So Detroit, who has a team who's already shown it could be the NFC Championship game with the right talent and the right coaching, can we bring them in? Can we stop this? Bring them in and feel like this is the team to beat in this division, or will Detroit just reload?
This is going to show, this year coming up is going to show, is Dan Campbell as good of a coach without his key guys? That's going to show who he truly is as a head coach, because he was able to rely on Ben Johnson, rely on Aaron Glenn to get the offensive defense together now. Now you're going to have to find the staff, and you're going to have to kind of retool a little bit. Are you the guy that can lead Detroit to the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship, or consistently stay at the top of the division? Because if not, it's going to show maybe he's just a motivator, not an X's and O's guy, and that will put a lot of fear in Detroit's fans' heart. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, us being Bears fans, I'm hoping that happens. I'm tired of being at the bottom of the division, and basically we're replacing them at the bottom of the division. So it's going to show. Well, both you guys are probably going to leave. What are you going to do about it?
How are you going to reload?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me read you some of Ben Johnson's statements from the day.
Mm-hmm.
It says the Chicago Bears are a world-class franchise with a phenomenal history and incredible fan base. Having been on the opposing sideline, I can attest to how passionate Bears fans are about this city and their team. I am honored to be their head coach. So he literally chose to be a Chicago Bears head coach. The rumor was last year that he didn't take the job in Washington because he didn't think it was the right fit, and he thought that the Chicago job would be open again. Now, are you guys surprised that he didn't take the Las Vegas job with Tom Brady?
50-50 on that. I thought Tom Brady was going to lure him based off who Tom Brady was.
Actually, no. I'm not surprised that he didn't take it because.
Yeah. Go ahead, Baron.
Go ahead.
Yeah. My personal opinion is okay. Look who pretty much who what the roster is and what each one's offering. We know that he wanted to get his own GM and all that. He probably get that with the Raiders, but look at the roster that he has. He doesn't have a line to have. He doesn't have a quarterback that he already likes. He doesn't have the receivers. He doesn't have pretty much everything's pretty much barren. He has to rebuild complete from scratch with no foundation pre-built. But he chose the Bears because based on what I hear, he likes Caleb. He likes the Caleb and wants to work with them. So then he would choose him over everyone else. He would choose him. France, I think he chose Caleb over whoever's going to be the next quarterback of the Raiders.
Okay. What about you, Grant?
I think it's that plays. Everything you said was right, Baron, but also think too that division he's in. You got to face Mahomes every year. You got to face Herbert every year. It's a gauntlet. In that division alone, it's a gauntlet. And Denver's coming alive.
Knicks, yeah,
right. So that's something that if he would have went there, it had to be either money or he was just fearful of the Chicago market, dealing with the media and the fan base here. But like I said, I think he's up for the challenge. With that, I can respect that about him, that he didn't take the easy way out, because going to Jacksonville, going to Vegas, because like those fan base, I mean, even the Raiders have a very passionate fan base. So I would say probably Jacksonville, they have passionate fans, but it's more of an environment where the media is not going to get on you like here, where they're going to constantly, try to pull strings to try to get under your skin. As you can see, Eberflus did a bad job handling with the media. He was trying to be as tight-lipped, but still, with the mistakes he was making, he couldn't be as tight-lipped anymore. So, is this guy ready for this market? And apparently, for him to take on this job, with the cap space and the roster and Caleb, then I think he's up for the challenge. So,
okay. All right. So, the Bears conducted 17 interviews. They interviewed 17 candidates. 3 of the interviews were conducted in person. The in-person interviews were with Ron Rivera, Mike McCarthy, and Tennessee State Eddie George. Do you feel like they only interviewed Ron Rivera and Eddie George to get the Rooney Rule out the way so they can grab their guy?
No, because so George Rivera, David Shaw supposedly got an interview. Weaver got an interview.
No. So the Rooney Rule is you to have 2 minorities in-house. Okay? They only had 3 interviews in-house. That's Ron Rivera, Mike McCarthy, and Eddie George. Did they interview Eddie George just to satisfy the Rooney Rule?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Yeah, because they knew once I knew that they were interviewing Eddie George, that came out of nowhere that morning. Was it Sunday morning? I knew that was going to be they was either coming close to a coach, or I just knew that they were trying to speed up the process. I knew that after they interviewed Eddie George, they were going to get a coach this week. I knew it. I just didn't know what day. You know what I mean? So I think, that's why I felt that was what that was about. I knew that was coming.
Are you mad at them? Because the Rooney Rule is used in order to get minority candidates that wouldn't get the opportunity, a chance to interview, a real interview. Now the Bears didn't do that full-heartedly. Even Aaron Glenn, they didn't bring into it for an interview. They couldn't at the time, but they didn't. They had other minority candidates they could have brought in. Brian Flores is in Minnesota. That's not far. They could have interviewed him in person.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that the Bears? Are you upset with the Bears for doing this?
I'm upset they interviewed 17 people, let alone the minorities. But the way they did the minority Rooney Rule thing, if they knew that Ben Johnson was the guy and they knew that he aced the interview, then why continue to go with the Rooney Rule knowing you got your guy?
Well, see, the idea of the Rooney Rule is that they actually get to interview and get to go through the same process, and give them the more interviews you have, the better you interview.
Yeah.
So you give someone who's ready to be a head coach another chance. So Brian Flores goes through a real interview in-house, going through all the stuff. You know, that's the point of the Rooney Rule. And I think the Bears kind of circumvented that to get the guy they wanted. But I once again challenge: is that really the spirit of the law? And should we be upset as 3 black men?
Like I said, I just think the whole Rooney Rule process overall for the NFL is I'm upset with the NFL about that. Just it's not even about the Bears. It's just with any team. You know, the NFL put that in. It's like they're forcing the team to interview minority guys. So it's like they're bringing them in for an interview, knowing they're not giving them the job, but they're just doing it because their boss is telling them to do it. So
but if someone knocks the interview out of the park, that's why you give them an opportunity. Because if someone knocks it out of the park, and even though you don't hire them, they hear about it and they get better at it. So it's an opportunity just to give them the face time.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it from that regard, you know, you can't be all the way mad at it. You know, you get an opportunity to interview with an NFL team for a coaching position. But I just think sometimes when, you know, because like I said, if Eddie Joe were to knock it out the park, are you going to go all of a sudden just cut ties with your whole plan because he aced the interview?
But you'll tell everybody else how good he did.
Yeah.
And then he get another opportunity with another team.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it has pros and cons. So I can't say it's one way or it's another way. It has pros and cons.
This was one of the ones like who they want, who they already got. This doing this just because you have to. We have to, like with Patriots. They like, oh, we have Jerome Mayo. We got rid of him. We know it's Mike Vrabel. They do the interview process. They do the whole Rooney Rule. They got Vrabel in like a week.
Now, if I was New England, like I mean, if this was like a New England Patriots show, I would be mad at my team for that.
So what's the difference between them and the Bears?
Because you gave Gerard Mayo the short end of the stick. You gave him a pretty much bad roster. Like when Eberflus came in, we got a bad roster. You tore it down. You got Drake May, who's a cornerstone for that roster. And now all of a sudden, Vrabel becomes available. You say, all right, this guy's a terrible coach. Let's get rid of him. When you gave him the bottom of the barrel roster already, which Vrabel is now inheriting now. So if Vrabel's bad, they're not going to fire Vrabel. They're going to try to build the roster up.
Yeah, that's one of the big personal reason I didn't like the firing, because didn't he get the same record as Belichick with the exact same roster?
He had a worse record than Belichick, because Belichick went to two bad quarterbacks, but he still won more games. But they got him out of there. But I'm just saying with Gerard Mayo, I mean, they didn't really give him a fair chance because the roster was already torn down already. They just gave him Drake May and said, okay, this is a rebuild year. We're going to change the culture. Well, kind of not change the culture, keep it kind of a Belichick way, but in your own way. And we're going to see what we can do about that. But at the end of the day, when they saw that Vrabel was available, they already knew, like, that's the guy. So we're going to get rid of Gerard Mayo, even though, like, they really did give him a fair shot. So I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of like a Brian Flores situation.
Well, that's not actually what they – so what actually happened.
They got the same record. They got the same record.
Yeah.
Brian Flores was not so Gerard Mayo was not one of the interviewees that counted for the Rooney Rule. The New England Patriots brought in Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton. So Byron Leftwich was brought in on Tuesday. Pep Hamilton was brought in. They interviewed them both, and then that's what cleared the path for them to hire Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
So they did that right away. Got them, even though Leftwich and Hamilton have not coached since 2022. Neither were believed to be real candidates in the Patriots' eyes. So they just interviewed them and got it out the way, and they got the guy they wanted. Byron Leftwich hasn't been in the NFL for 3 years.
Yeah.
So like literally, that's what they did. The
Bears.
This
makes the Bears one make more. At least the Bears actually got a coach that coached in the last couple of years.
Ron Rivera's an ex-Bear. So did they really get anyone? They just brought in a guy that they know. And then they brought in Eddie George, someone that they didn't know. They just threw him in there to get the interview, get done with the Rooney Rule. And the reason I'm asking you this is because does that mean that the Rooney Rule is a joke?
It depends on who you. It depends on.
Depends on the team.
Depends on the team. It depends on like how the team is executing that Rooney Rule. Like if they're doing their actual due diligence on these coaches, and then kind of like putting them on to different organizations to have them uh maybe the next year or two get an interview for the job, then I have no problem with that. But it's like for me, in order to get the process like what the Patriots did, they rushed through that process because they knew they're getting Vrabel. Let's just get guys who haven't coached in 2 years or a year or whatever, and just bring them in, interview them, don't really care what they have to say or whatever, pretty much. Because we don't know what goes on in interview rooms. We don't know what's going on. They probably was just BS through the interview and then said, yeah, we got that Rooney Rule. It's over. Let's just get our guy. We got it. It's over. So it's a good opportunity for African-American men to get their interview skills up with organizations. But I do feel like it could be a problem down the line because teams are going to just BS through the whole process, and just to get their guy, just to, oblige to the Rooney Rule, when in reality, what it's supposed to be for, they're not going by it. They're not going by what it's supposed to mean for African-American candidates. So
that's a good point. I want to read you what Ryan Clark said about this.
Okay.
So I think it kind of puts it like the Rooney Rule, which to me, the New England Patriots just made a mockery of.
Yep.
The interview for Hamilton and Byron Leftwich, two coaches that haven't even been in football right now, just to fulfill a quota. The Rooney Rule was put in place to so some of these minority coaches could get opportunity to get in front of teams with some executives and have some of these owners that are truly were looking to give a job to the best person. Now I want to make it clear. I believe we have moved to a point where the organization will hire the best person they feel for the job. But let's not make coaches who have worked their entire lives for this opportunity to be token interviews.
Yeah.
I think the better solution is for teams who want to skip the Rooney Rule, like the New England Patriots probably just would have done just because they wanted Mike Vrabel, to allow them to hire someone on a lower level that reports directly to the head coach, reports to directly to the offensive coordinator, so they could have some of the tutelage that allows their resumes to be a career builder. Let's stop with the bullcrap interviews just to say that we did what the Rooney Rule was supposed to do. When it's implemented initially, I believe it worked. Now it's run its course and becomes something that is a joke in the NFL coaches, and more importantly, to the people that is supposed to help. So what Ryan Clark is suggesting is that if you ignore it for the head coaches, you're forced to put a minority person in as either offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator that usually are the people that get those opportunities. So for the Patriots, they'll have to have a minority offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and for the Bears, if you want to supplement, go right past this rule, then you have to bring in a minority person for the offensive or defensive coordinator.
I don't
think about that.
I don't. I see what he's saying, but I don't agree with that either, though.
Why not?
Because if they're not capable of doing the job, don't hire them because we have to. We're trying to get the Rooney. If you were to retool the Rooney Rule and just hire these guys because based on the fact they're minority, you don't know if they're good at the job or not.
No, so you do. Because you're assuming that there's only a few guys of offensive defensive coordinator that are talented. That's not the truth. There are a lot of guys that have played in this NFL, and this NFL is 80% black. There's a lot of people that have been going through this, just haven't had the opportunity. So if you wanted to not go through the rule, what is he saying is you must then hire them for a position that will put them in place to be able to be the next coach.
Oh yeah, but I think they should
like having a requirement. Like if you want to skip it, you have a requirement at least one of your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator is required to be a minority. Mm-hmm. One of them has.
That means you're going to find one. That means you're going to have to give them the opportunity. That means you're going to have to really interview. Give them. You want to search for the right person. So that's kind of what it's saying. And you're giving another person opportunity in the next round. You're putting someone in position to be the next great offensive coordinator, the next great defensive coordinator.
So,
but you can still
pretty much to be their next Ben Johnson. This amazing team that has this minority offensive coordinator that people loves his offense, and then he gets a chance. He
So
gets that borderline automatic chance.
Mm-hmm.
I can see what you're saying, but I would be rather have. So you remember Sean Desai, right?
Mm-hmm.
They used to coach the defense, right? The defensive coordinator after Vic Fangio left, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember his way up to the defensive coordinator? If they would have bring somebody in like that, like I'm talking about in a minority, and build them through the system like that, just getting them on the staff or being like a consultant or something like that, or learning under somebody's tutelage like a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, and build them through the ranks.
There's already many minority position coaches. You will be surprised the number of minority position coaches, but being an offensive or defensive coordinator, you do not get those. Right. And those are the jobs of the people that are going to be, getting head coaching jobs. So if you want to find minority head coaches, you got to have minority coordinators.
I see.
Yeah, because
you don't want to.
If I remember from the Bears, they have like their running back is black, or they have a running back is black.
Well, it was
they had black. Yeah.
They had Thomas Brown.
Most of their position
Thomas Brown was
but the whole staff.
Most of the position players.
But they do have a lot of position players that don't give the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thomas Brown, every single time he's had an opportunity, he's had to take over for someone in a terrible situation. But he's never been given the offensive coordinator job position outright. So like this will be forcing to give someone like that position if you don't want to circumvent the actual rule. But you can still follow the rule and give two people the real honest try beforehand. Or if you want to get this guy, you're forced to then do this.
Like I said, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to it. Any way we can get a minority in the building and get them a chance, a fair chance to become an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and eventually become a head coach, I'm with it. So.
What
do you think, B? What about you, Baron?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that because if you're allowed to skip it, but you're required to have at least one person. Like we know the stories of the coaches that go from I was a position coach, and then it was then I had a passing game, then I was an offensive coordinator, and then I was a head coach. We see most of the time black people get stuck at the positional or maybe the passing game. They never get a chance to be the offensive coordinator, or it's run game, but never get a chance to be a defensive coordinator. So then, we use that rule to actually get some of these run game. I handle the run game, or I handle the passing game, and get a chance to actually manage the offensive and defensive teams.
Mm-hmm. So, it's just an interesting thought. I don't know if I have the right answer. But opportunity is with the whole point of Rooney Rule. So I saw what Ryan Clark said, and I thought that's an important thought, that you want to have opportunity. I think the Bears knew that they wanted Ben Johnson immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I think their next choice would have been probably Brian Flores, or then they would have gone to maybe Mike McCarthy. Maybe they looking at another old coach. But I think they didn't do the due process. They didn't actually go through. They didn't bring Brian Flores in for a real interview. They didn't give him an opportunity to really show who he was. So I think that is a problem. I think the Patriots did the same thing. And I am happy that the Jets seem to be looking at Aaron Glenn and giving him the real opportunity, especially since he was an ex-Jet.
Saints too.
Mm-hmm. I think he's not going to take the Saints job. I think he'll take the Jets job because they have a better defense right now. They're younger.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's the opportunity. This is just something I was noticing and wondering. But for me, Ben Johnson's probably the no-brainer head coach. This is what you want. He was ranked first in offensive points per game, first in yards per game. He was the first in touchdowns per drive. Red zone touchdown percentage, he was number 1. So this guy has unbelievable metrics when you talk about his offensive game. So I am 100% for Ben Johnson, and I'm hoping that he can hold Caleb Williams accountable and do exactly what we saw in that little skit. When he's saying, I'm going to make him better than Jaden Daniels. Because if he's better than Jaden Daniels, he's going to be a great quarterback. And that's all we really care about. Because if we get that, we have a good defense. It was Dennis Allen, who is the Tom Brady killer, because all he does is stop Tom Brady. If he can bring that type of intensity to the Bears, we're looking at a very good team. So I'm hoping all these things work out. I love that we got the right guy. We got the guy we wanted. I'm happy.
Yeah.
And then here's what Ryan Pohl said. Throughout our search process, I was thoroughly impressed by Ben's character, intelligence, leadership, and ability to connect. A progressive offensive mind, Ben planned for all three phases of our team, which is centered on creating a winning and competitive environment, became evidently clear. Meeting with Ben and gaining the understanding of his process and vision, the more confident we became that Ben is the right leader for our team, and that he and I will be great partners in building our team and shaping our franchise for long-term success. That man be wild. I see you, Bob, though. I mean, he do be going on and on. Yeah, so this is what Ryan Pohl said about that. We saw the reports last 2 weeks about hey, he really wanted Ben Johnson. He was ready to do whatever it took, and he did it. $13 million, ready for him to come be our head coach. That's crazy. $65 million a year in 5 years. 65. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
Right. Yep.
So if we get the right coaching staff here, the first thing we have to do for the Bears is rebuild our offensive line. Mm-hmm. We right now have a projected salary cap space of $74.8 million. They have three primary starters on the offensive line. That's Coleman Shelton, Matt Pryor, and Tevin Jenkins are pending free agents. That Braxton Jones probably needs to be replaced. So I mean, we have a lot of problems on offensive line because that's the one thing that Detroit has, a great offensive line. So, give me a number. How many of our offensive linemen do you think will be replaced next year?
3.
Okay, what 3?
Left tackle, left tackle, center, right guard. Probably bring back technicians on a prove-it deal.
So Tevin Jenkins gets a 1-year prove-it deal.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the only reason why you say is that left guard.
Okay. And all right, Grant, how many do you have?
4.
4. Which 4?
All 4.
Everybody except Darnell Wright. So from Braxton Jones to Tevin Jenkins to who was our center? Coleman Shelton. Mm-hmm. And Matt Pryor. All those guys getting replaced. Darnell Wright is the cornerstone of that right side. That's the only guy that I know for a fact is going to be on that starting line next year. In my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If I'm the Bears, I replace 3. I replace center, left guard, left tackle.
So keeping Pryor at right guard?
So Pryor, no, I have Pryor and Ryan Bates fight for right guard.
Okay.
So Ryan Bates, when he's talented, when he's doing the good things, he can play. He just is always injured. And then Matt Pryor is there. He's going to be a good guy to be there. And especially you put talent all around him, he'll be okay. So if you can fix at least one side and then determine what the right guard is, and then if he's a problem, you get another guy in there next year. But you also draft a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think you can go ahead with 3
draft
guys.
Left tackle this year. You're drafting a left tackle.
I'll draft a left tackle. I'll also draft a center.
And we'll go free agency for a guard.
Free agency for our left guard.
Trey Smith.
And that's what Trey Smith is going back to Kansas City. But
pipe dream, man. Pipe dream.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. What are guards? What are guards out there?
What's the one from Dallas? What's Zach Martin?
Zach Martin, who's
gonna be free.
He's old.
How old do you think Zach Martin is?
He's old, and
how old do you think he is?
He's like 31, I think. Right?
He is 32. 31,
he's
32.
30.
But he has a lot of injury.
He's 34.
Oof. No. Nah.
I'll take Zach Martin in a second. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Our line has been bad for too long, bro. I could take any body that has some sustainable, that can be at least a stopgap until we get a real young guy in there. I'll take Zach Martin.
My question is, could he last the season?
He usually
Because
does.
he really had. Yeah.
Look, if
Trey Smith is the number one guy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
You're not getting him because they're going to sign him back. We got Ronnie Stanley for the Baltimore Ravens, but he's more of a right tackle. He's a right tackle more than anything.
okay,
Really, that's when it starts to kind of dry up. You got Cam
Yeah.
Robinson from Minnesota. I don't know if I want Cam Robinson. We got Drew Dalman from Atlanta. He's a center.
okay,
Drew Dalman, that's a good one. Yeah. So we got Will Freeze from the Indianapolis Colts.
okay.
And ranked right below him is Tevin Jenkins from the Chicago Bears. And Kevin Ziegler from the Detroit Lions is also a free agent.
Okay.
So I can see us
But
getting.
he's
Kevin
also.
Ziegler.
That's pretty much. Does he normally play right guard? He plays right guard, right?
I believe he plays. I know he's 34. I know that's the thing. I remember he's 34. He usually plays right guard. Yeah, this is a good position. He's one of the best.
Yeah,
but he's older.
Yeah.
So I mean, what we know is that we're probably gonna get the offensive line coach from the Detroit Lions. We have a lot of work to do. We have to rebuild our line. We have to determine who can block for Caleb Williams, and now we got to try to hold him accountable. So I mean, there's a lot of work for us to do, but at least we got this first stage set up, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do a lot of research on especially with the combine coming up. I usually don't pay it. I pitched to like a certain people in the combine, but my eyes will be on the offensive line this year. Last year it was mainly on the receivers because I knew we were probably gonna either get Marvin Harrison or Rome Odunze at one of our picks. I was studying the receivers, but this year it'll be solely on the offensive line and in the defensive line because that's been our two biggest weaknesses for the last 3 years. So I'm looking forward to it. Having a coach in the fold as the first team to actually get the head coach that we wanted, I'm ecstatic about that. So I'm kind of gonna be investing in this offseason, especially when the combine hit. So,
yeah,
I think if we can come out of the draft with Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell or Wyatt Bynum, I'm ecstatic. Literally, those guys are the pick of the litter for anything. But Kelvin Banks is probably a top 3 type of pick. I think either of the other two could be picked early and be happy.
Yeah.
But this is a deep guard center type of draft. So I think that's where you're trying to get multiple guys, but you got to get the best guy. So when you're looking at centers, I don't think anyone has anything higher than maybe a second or third round grade. So that's why you get someone probably like Jake Majors from Texas. I think that's a good one. He's 6'3", runs a 5'2" 40. I think he's a second rounder. Maybe Seth McLaughlin, Ohio State center, who's a great IQ, good with picking up exotic blitz. I mean, he's an interesting guy. So I'm just saying there are guys out there that we can get that'll be interesting, and hopefully we can bring them in and enjoy some success with a young guy that could grow with Caleb.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's and then if I'm looking for a guard, I'm looking at Jaden Roberts because I can get them all back to back. I go first, second, third round and get all the 3 of these guys and bring them all in.
So you think that if you, in your opinion, if you were polls, you would try to go off the line first 3 picks?
Yep, and I'll pay for a defensive end.
Who would you pick? Because I was just looking at not pick, but in free agency for the D line is concerned. I just looked at we got Josh Sweat as a free agent, Hassan Reddick's a free agent, Khalil Mack, our old friend, is a free agent. So what guy
Retire. He might retire.
I would be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised actually.
But out of who I've seen, who would you think would be a good fit? Especially if Dennis Allen comes, who runs a similar type of defense like Eberflus did, but he's more of a blitz happy guy with the 4-3 and Tampa 2. Who do you think would be a good fit for this defense if we were to go that route?
Probably Josh Sweat. Probably Josh Sweat. Yeah.
But I personally would trade for Myles Garrett. I'll personally trade for Myles Garrett.
I would do anything. I would trade Barron for Myles Garrett.
Hey, I don't want to be a Browns fan.
I would trade Barron for Myles Garrett. But I think Malcolm Kontz will be a good guy that we get. We have to get someone who's going to be a good addition, and we need that now.
Yes. Yeah. I like I said, I would love to get Sweat, or I don't know, like Hassan Reddick. He's on the downside of he's going to be on a decline. Mm-hmm. But I would love to have Josh Sweat. Him with Montez. Be called like the Sweat brothers, or you know what I mean. It would be nice. It'd be nice to have. But like I said, I think with Billings coming back, that does help the middle out. But I think we need
another one. We need another one.
Yeah, we need another one. You need another one because Zach
Pickens get Milton Williams.
Yes, that's a free agent, or he's going to be in the draft.
Free agent from the Eagles.
Yeah. He's their run stuffer.
Yeah.
Either him or. Do you think they're going to keep Dana from the Chiefs?
Yeah. Well, the Chiefs their guys are too old right now. Give me a younger guy. Let's see what we could do. Go into it. Milton Williams is 25 years old. He's a pretty good 3 technique, so I would love to see him. And you keep the guys that we have and see how that grows into the positions.
Because right now, Jerron Dexter looks more like a pass rush.
Yeah, he runs up the field a lot, and that opens up run lanes.
Jerron is a defensive end in a 3-4 scheme.
Yes,
that's what he is. He is 6'6". He's a DN in a 3-4 scheme. That's just what he is.
Yes. You know what?
Bring him in for pass rush downs, pretty much.
I'm not gonna lie. I think one of the most underrated guys we lost last offseason was Justin Jones, though. I think that
was run stuffer.
That was an underrated loss. That because we thought what Billings was going to be, just overall. But Justin Jones was also another leader on the defense. And
he was not a good pass rusher. He was making too much money.
Yeah,
that was a problem.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think the writing. I mean, like I said, and I was going to ask you too. I was thinking about this too. I'd asked my dad about it. Like last year, we gave Caleb a kind of a pass because he had the dumpster fire around him.
He didn't. I think he was the dumpster fire. I don't think that he did not have dumpster fire around him. He had some things. He wasn't being held accountable. Caleb Williams has never had to go to an offense and learn it. They've always built the offense around him. So that's why you knew that he was going to have problems the first year. I think Caleb Williams is probably one of the most talented guys in the entire NFL. But if you have never had that chance, the time when you had to learn and prove your worth, then you don't know how to do that. Jayden Daniels had to go to 2 different schools. He was not given the job at LSU. Mm-hmm. He had to go earn it. He had at Arizona State. He had to go earn it. He had to go to 2 different ones and do it. So that's why Bo Nix, he had to go earn it everywhere he went.
Yeah, 10-year senior.
Hey, no matter. Yeah. 23, 24 years old. I mean, he's a grown-up.
Is he like close to 25 at this point?
I think he's 24 when he was drafted. They had 2 quarterbacks that are 25.
Yeah.
24, I'm sorry.
So so like I said, to my original point, do you think, like I said, because people are saying, we'll give him a pass, he's a rookie, whatever. But if he comes out this next year and he struggles like he did this year, will you be concerned?
I was already concerned, so sure.
Especially if Justin goes back to Pittsburgh and starts. And he goes out the gate blazing.
I'm not worried about Justin anymore. I didn't want us to lose him at all. But at this point, it doesn't matter because we did. And we got a 6th-round pick for him. So we already messed it up. So I'm not worried about it at this point. It's okay.
It's okay.
I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be really good for the Falcons, and he's an older guy. I think Bo Nix is going to be great, and he's an older guy. So I think that this is going to have a change, that people that play in college for more than 3 years are going to be the best ready for the transition. And I think you're going to see that going on from now on, and you got to take advantage of that. Yeah. So I knew Caleb Williams was going to be a project. I've said on this channel that he was going to end up being a project, and it's going to be a problem. If you do this, you might as well just start the whole team over. They didn't do it, and now we get Ben Johnson. So, I would gladly sacrifice. I would gladly give up this year as long as we get a playoff win next year. If we don't, then I'm unhappy.
Who do you think with Ben Johnson? Everybody's talking about him and Caleb's relationship, how that's going to work. Who do you think benefits most with Ben Johnson coming in, not named Caleb Williams?
DJ Moore. DJ Moore. Mm-hmm.
He's now an Amon-Ra spot.
I think Rome though. I think
Why?
Rome.
Who was the number 1 receiver in Detroit?
Amon-Ra.
How tall is Amon-Ra St. Brown?
They're like 6 feet.
What does he work? What does he work?
The slot.
The middle of the field. Yeah. What is DJ Moore?
DJ Moore. DJ Moore.
He's literally the same guy, except DJ Moore is stronger after the catch. He's a better runner with the ball after the catch. He's literally DJ Moore. Jameson Williams, how tall is he?
I think 5'11".
No, he's 6'1".
He's 6'1". So he's the taller of the receivers.
Yeah.
Rome's not fast, but he's better at high pointing. He's more of a high point guy.
He's also the taller receiver.
Yeah.
He will be the number 2. With that also being said, the Bears are going to get rid of Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's going back to LA. They will get rid of Keenan Allen because they need someone with more speed. They're going to look for another slot type of receiver.
I got 2 options. You can use Tyler Scott.
No.
Or we didn't develop him at all. He's done.
Yes, catch the ball.
And then it's a guy, a college receiver in Georgia.
We're not really
drafting receivers.
Stop trying to draft receivers. We need to fix the line. Everything he does. All he does, Grant's like, hey, get another receiver to draft. We're done. No, we got a guy. You go pay for someone to be a 3rd receiver. That's just it.
So who'd you got? Hollywood Brown?
No matter who I get, I'm gonna grab a guy. It's not gonna be the top guy. I'm gonna grab a guy who can catch the ball.
A guy who's pretty much fast and tends to be a slot guy.
I'm not saying draft a receiver early.
Yes, you are. That's what you want to do it again. No, we don't need it.
You are.
I'm not saying draft a receiver early. I'm saying it in the later rounds if we have the ability.
So when we need to get backup linemen and defensive linemen, that's what we need.
And we need.
Listen. Now these are logical statements you guys are making, but we also know who Ryan Poles, who drafted a punter in the 4th round. So I don't know. Obviously, we would love to draft defensive linemen, backups, offensive linemen, but Poles, like I said, gets arrogant. We may see a receiver, we may see a running back. I'm just saying what we would like to happen. It's not going to happen.
So no. The Bears are going to sign someone like Darius Slayton.
I would like that. Actually,
or Josh Palmer.
Or Rondell Moore.
Someone, Rondell Moore made too much money this last year, but someone who take about.
I'm checking right now. He makes 1.7.
No, I thought he signed a contract. Rondell Moore signed a contract.
Isn't he in Arizona?
No, he's in Atlanta.
Yeah, he left. Thought he signed a contract.
Yeah, he didn't sign a contract.
He did. He signed. He's still on the same rookie year. Oh, he's still same rookie year. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Rondell Moore is going to fit exactly what I want, though. Even though he's 24 years old, he's very young. Maybe we'll see. I just don't like the 5'7" being 179 pounds. That's not my guy.
Yeah.
Or Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore's friends.
He's injury prone. Also, Elijah Moore is injury prone. Oh,
that's why I said Josh Palmer, a guy who could be a 3rd receiver and be fine with it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind it either. But I have with college paying out now, you actually got to really anticipate contracts going forward. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
100%. And that's
yes,
why I
you
say
do.
Darius Slayton, who came off just 39 receptions and 573 yards, but could easily be a third receiver and work well for his team. But he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's not going to demand the ball. You need a guy who can do it, who won't demand the ball, but still can do something special. And that's both Josh Palmer and Darius Slayton have 39 receptions this year and over 500 yards.
I also have one more concern with Ben Johnson as well. I was reading today how much leeway, he gave Jared Goff at the line of scrimmage. Now we've seen how that worked with Caleb, giving him all that, giving the keys to the offense, the line of scrimmage, how that worked out. Now, I would hope Ben Johnson dummies it down for him. So, because he's still going to be a young guy in the league on the second year.
Yeah, but second year, you have to give him an opportunity to do it, because if he can't do it, we need to know now. We need to know.
Right. So, like I said, this is going to be a thing. Me and you've talked about this, with creating a culture. With as far as, like you said, when Ryan Poe went on the 670 to score and said in training camp he saw the red flags about people not giving effort and then the false starts, and he saw that and didn't say anything about it. That led to what we saw during the season. So is Ben Johnson going to come in and say, hey, this is my team, we're going to run it my way and we're going to win it. We're going to win it because I'm the head guy? Or you're going to be like, well, I'm the guy, but I'm going to be scared to come at Caleb. I'm going to be scared to come at DJ.
Why would he do it? He can't, know what I'm saying? He can be. That's why they gave him $13 million.
Yeah. Like I said, he has to own up to it.
He made more money than all of them. He makes more money than Caleb Williams does.
Yeah. But like I said, he has to. You have to come in with the iron fist, because, like I said, guys, you got guys going on podcasts exposing what's going on in the locker room. He has to make sure they're all locked in as a unit. You gotta create a culture and evolve, adapt, and conquer. Look, I think what we'll get over on with Bear fans tomorrow at his press conference, if he says something like what Lovie Smith said at his press conference. Yes. Do we want to make the playoffs? Yes. Do we want to make the Super Bowl? Yes.
My first job is to beat the Green Bay
Packers. If you come in with that type of attitude, you're going to have the team say, wow, whoa, like this guy's not even talking about the play. He's talking about beating a division rival. Don't just say, well, we got to win our division. No, we want you to say, F Green Bay, we're coming for Green Bay. And then we can, that'll put a lot of fight on your team already. But like I said, do I see him doing that? No. But I was saying that would resonate with those guys in that locker room, that this guy really cares about this rivalry. He cares about this division. Let's go win this thing. So that's what
I hate Green Bay more than anyone, but I want him to come off the press conference and say, we need to get our offensive line set. And that's going to be my focus, finding out who the offensive line is and make sure we're able to protect and run the ball. If he says that, I know we're going to have a good relationship and we might have a positive year, because we have to be a run-first team, and that type of team that has a good offensive line and defensive line creates a culture.
Yeah.
A culture that I'm going to hit you in the mouth and stand right in front of you.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. You saw with the Eagles game against the Rams how that offensive line was taking over that game, as far as with Saquon. And that offensive line was running people over, out athletic. All their offensive line was athletic on the line.
And they replaced like 3 of their linemen the last 2 years.
Yeah, like they didn't miss a beat. They didn't miss a beat without Kelsey in center. They didn't miss a beat.
No, Kelsey's the one who chose that guy. Hey, he's my replacement. That's what he told him. He said, he's my replacement, guys. Go get him.
He was on the roster when Kelsey left, or he
he was on the roster. He was on the roster.
Kelsey told the team,
he groomed him pretty much.
He told him, go grab him. He's my replacement. That's the guy. I'm telling you guys, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Prince told him, and Prince groomed him to be your replacement.
Like I said, but like I said, if we can get an offensive line and Caleb can work on his footwork, already a good sign. I've seen he cut his hair. So that shows that he may mean business. But I just think that with him, his development, which everybody's going to be keying in on with this relationship, I think he has the tools to be a great quarterback, but is he willing to listen? Is he willing to be coached?
Hold him accountable and tell him if you don't want to listen, hey, we'll figure out something else.
Yes. Holding guys like DeAndre Swift. I mean, and like I said, guys like him who has the talent, but hey, man, you got to run between the tackles. You can't be a running back and be scared running like every day outside. Can't do it.
We're talking about Swift has never even ran. He's ran for 1,000 yards one time.
Yeah.
So why does everyone want to pay him? But he's already been paid, so you got to keep him now.
Yeah, we have to keep him.
But I would run the ball Roshan until figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there, though. I mean, we got to see where we end up going. We have to develop this offense the right way. We have to develop our defense the right way. And the truth is, Dennis Allen's a great defensive back coach. So, though we have great defensive backs, but we didn't have depth. Maybe he gets them to a great depth, and we keep it going.
Yeah,
that's the key I want to look at too, though, because as much as we want the offense to succeed, I want to see how will this defense look next year with this new staff that we're getting. And how are we going to keep Tyree Stevenson with Jalen Johnson? Are we going to move Kyler Gordon outside, which I don't see him doing, but I'm just saying.
Oh, he's a slot guy. He's a
slot guy. But
no, he's not a slot guy. He's so good that he could be both.
Yes.
He's so good that he could be both.
He shut down Stephon Diggs' rookie year on the outside. So like I said, I think with Dennis Allen comes in, he had Marshawn Lattimore in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Gardner Johnson too before he left.
Mm-hmm.
So he had those guys, and like I said,
and he kept on bringing in 1 to 2 year contracts at defensive back and teach them how to guard and be a great guy. So I am interested if he becomes our defensive coordinator. We will be really interesting next year.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to having a lot of being aggressive, not just being where we're gonna bend don't break defense. The only person that got away with that is Vic Fangio, and he was really good for us because he knew when to blitz. He had people in the right area, right places, at the right time.
He also had Cleo Mack on the edge
and Akeem Hickson inside. So
I'm gonna tell you this: Lovie Smith is the best bend but no break guy.
He's one of the best.
Yeah,
because then
he got exposed against Aaron Rodgers though. That's why.
Yeah, because
did he really?
He had like 5.
Did he really?
I think he have like 5 main defensive calls, and that's really it.
Yeah, well, and he ran Tampa 2, and he knew how to adjust and how to change everything just on the look you get. Teach the guys how to play football and how to know football. That's the idea. That's what you do with defense, and that's why I can't wait to see if a coach can do that for us.
Can Ben Johnson make in-game adjustments coming out the half? Can he do that?
He's already done that.
He already does that. We know that.
He do it as a head coach. That's the question.
Right. Are the lights going to be too bright for him? Which I hope not. But like I said, they went from a rah guy in Eberflus to a nerd now. So we're gonna see how the nerd does.
Nerd.
So like I said, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right, guys. I think that was a good discussion. We will see how the coaching staff is filled out. And by the time we come in next week, we will talk about that and see where we're heading with our new coaching staff and our new head coach, Ben Johnson. I want to thank Baron and Grant for being here. I'm Brian the Grizzly. We will see you guys next week. If you want to see me tomorrow, me and Mark will be on Dynasty Pylon at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. See you guys then. Peace.
The Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so